Okay guys, welcome to this concept series. And in essence what we're doing in this concept series is giving you guys a bit more of an idea of the why behind the programming, letting you in on the concepts. And what we're going to be looking at now is we're going to be looking at the daily max or a heavy single. Now this is actually something that a lot of athletes who are new to the program struggle with, but a lot of athletes who've been with the program for a while actually really start to enjoy. And I think one of the reasons in the discrepancies of that is understanding what this heavy single is. So we've used the concept of the heavy single for years, and you'll see this in the lifting. You know, let's take the example of a power clean. In the power clean, training 1, session 1, weightlifting, power clean, build to a heavy single. Now, this build to a heavy single is not an all-time, lifetime PR lift. What it means is that you're building to a heavy stimulus of that day. And actually what we recommend when we're doing building, when we're working with the athletes building to this heavy single, is that actually you're not going to failure on that lift, meaning there are no misses, no failures. Once you have that heavy stimulus, that's you done. What we will find is that athletes who are new to the program will often take like 5 to 10 attempts at this heavy single in order to get that PB again. We're not worried about the PB at that moment in time. The only time when you might build up on the PB is if the jumps you're taking, you feel good, you feel fresh, all the weights are moving well, and in which case you can jump, maybe you take that attempt. However, there may also be a day where you don't feel as good, and you may only be at 80 to 90% of your 1RM. However, that will count as your heavy single of the day. Now, what's the reason that we program like this? The main reason that we program like this is because your 1RM power clean is going to be different on training 1 than on training 3, than on training 5, and it's going to be different depending on what we've done the day before. So, let's take an example. Let's do staying with the heavy power clean. Say, for example, the day before you might have done, 50 thrusters with a significant weight. Obviously, that's going to start to impact your strength numbers for the next day. And therefore, we put the heavy single in so we can get that stimulus, desired stimulus, without you having to worry about the number. And that's the reason that we won't do, build to 100% of your 1RM that day. We will use the daily max and then use the drop down set percentages based off that. So say for example, training 1, and this is just an example to give you an idea of the concept, but in training 1 my power clean is 100 kilos and I've got a drop down at 90% and 80%. Obviously my drop downs are then going to be at 90 kilos, 80 kilos. However, on training 3, my power clean is only 90 kilos. My drop downs are then going to reflect that as we go through, and that will actually give me a better stimulus for the training. So this is actually just an important message to a lot of people who are say new to the program and don't necessarily or haven't used the concept of a daily max before. This is not a lifetime PB, this is a heavy stimulus. There should be no fails as you're building up to the heavy single. If you feel good, you keep moving up in weight. If it doesn't feel good, you stay there and then you begin your drop downs for that day based on that percentage. There's no need to worry. You guys will be getting stronger and there will be lots of opportunities to hit big numbers, and we stipulate that in the program. If we're expecting you to go for a lifetime PB, we will actually stipulate that as now is the time to go. But the heavy single, the daily max, that is not the time, unless you're feeling good, to go for those new numbers. Yeah. So any comments, any questions, let us know, and we'll be here for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video.